It is primary night in Colorado and a critical night for Republicans who hold the least power in the state since before World War II.
Anybody who picked up a Democratic ballot knows most of those races were uncontested, so really didn't need to worry about those. They've all been called. The big news, though, is on the GOP side. That's why we need Marshall.
Yeah, Colorado's Republican primary voters are moving away from the far right of the party and candidates who've embraced the big lie that the 2020 election was stolen. Time to use my handy dandy map to show some of these results here. On the map right now is the race for U.S. Senate. Joe O'Dea defeated election denier Ron Hanks in the Republican Senate primary. On perhaps a timely topic, abortion, O'Dea, 55-45 right now, supports a woman's right to choose early in pregnancy and in cases of rape, incest, or if the mother's life is in danger. He has said he's against late-term abortion, but he's not defined what he means by late term. He will face Democratic Senator Michael Bennet in November. Democrats spent $4 million on ads promoting O'Dea's opponent, Hanks, hoping he would be an easier candidate for Bennet to beat in November. O'Dea called out that tactic in his victory speech tonight.
This multi-million-dollar campaign by Democrats in the Republican primary is everything that American people hate about politics. It's pure cynicism, it's deceit.
The ads called Hanks too conservative for Colorado, trying to get conservative voters to pick Hanks. O'Dea is the more moderate opponent for Bennet, and statewide, it's the green areas that chose O'Dea. Yellow are the counties that went for Ron Hanks. For Secretary of State, it's more defined to the salmon color for Pam Anderson because voters rejected chaos in this race. Republican Pam Anderson will face Democrat Jenna Griswold in November. Anderson won the primary over Mike O'Donnell, and right now you see there in third Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters. Peters is facing felony charges, accused of tampering with her county's election equipment. She's not even allowed to run Mesa County's elections this year. No surprise here. Peters' campaign is claiming without evidence that the results of today's election are fraudulent. Pam Anderson rejects the election rigging conspiracies amplified by Peters and is vocal about our election system being secure. Anderson, a former Jefferson County clerk, also previously led the County Clerks Association.
We can trust our elections in Colorado, but our work is never done, and we're not going to use hyperpartisan rhetoric to inflate anyone's political profile. This is about Colorado and the voters and restoring trust.
I just quickly want to point out that Anderson beats Peters in her home county of Mesa County. Democratic Governor Jared Polis will face Republican Heidi Ganahl in the November election. Ganahl won out over Greg Lopez. We're still counting some votes, but it's definite there. Lopez had finished third in the gubernatorial primary 4 years ago. Ganahl is the last Republican to win statewide office in Colorado. She won a seat on the CU Board of Regents in 2016. Compared to Lopez, Ganahl represents the Republican establishment, though she has also flirted with the big lie. When she launched her campaign in September, I asked if she believed there was fraud in the 2020 election. She called those questions divisive. In a future campaign stop after that, she told supporters she had to win by such a big margin that results cannot be fixed. She has not talked directly with 9 News since I interviewed her in September. I just want to show you the results. This is the yellow are the counties that Ganahl won, and these are the metro area counties that gave her a big bump. Lopez are the red counties. Douglas County, I just wanted to point out because they both live there. Heidi Ganahl won 60-40 in Douglas County, but statewide right now, she's won 53-47. As I said, she has not talked with 9 News until tonight, since September until tonight, when 9 News reporter Kelly Ranke got a hold of Heidi Ganahl because she's at the Ganahl party in Douglas County. Kelly?
Yeah, hey, Marshall, and we also asked her about the 2020 election results. And again, tonight she didn't give us a definitive answer on that. A very different atmosphere at the Ganahl party than the Tina Peters party. After the AP had called the Secretary of State race, I asked Tina Peters' campaign if she would talk. That interview request was rejected, and someone on her campaign called the AP decision, quote, out of whack. Heidi Ganahl was greeted by a loud round of applause from her supporters, and she called herself a mom on a mission. According to Ganahl, kids are worse off now because of the decisions Democratic Governor Jared Polis made during the pandemic. She said she also wants to focus on combating the rise of fentanyl distribution and death. When one chamber in the state legislature will be held by Democrats, it may be difficult for her to do what she wants as a Republican governor, but here's what she had to say on that.
I believe we have a chance to take back both sides of the legislature and the Attorney General's office and Secretary of State's office and the Treasurer's office. I think it's going to be a big year for Republicans in Colorado, as evidenced by tonight. And I truly believe that we have the best ideas to take us back. We've dropped from number 11 to number 29 in business-friendly states. How are we going to get back to being the land of opportunity?
Ganahl is celebrating tonight, and so is her campaign, but they said their work continues tomorrow because Democrats have pumped so much money into ads boosting her opponent Greg Lopez during this campaign. The Ganahl campaign believes that Governor Jared Polis is nervous to go up against her during the general election. Marshall.
Kelly, maybe I've been doing this too long. I keep hearing the what, but not the how. And that's what I'm still lacking, especially in that answer. Like, how will you do the things that you want to do? And we're going to have to get some specifics at some point, right?
Yeah, and I think people were curious about how she was going to do that. People were following up on questions. Okay, so how are you going to bring Democrats to the table? And again, I don't think we got as much specifics as we were hoping for, but I think this is really going to be an opportunity to bring those specifics now that she is the Republican nominee. I think that's something she's going to have to start doing. Outside of a public health emergency, the powers of the governor are limited. You need bills from the legislature to make it to your desk, and if one of the chambers, which the House will be Democrat, it's going to be tough for her, if she were governor, to get the kind of bills that she wants to sign. Anyway, thank you, Kelly. Barb Kirkmeyer will be facing off against State Representative Yadira Caraveo for Congressional District 8. Kirkmeyer won against Jan Coleman, Lori Sane, and at the bottom there, Tyler Alcorn, who didn't even live in Congressional District 8 and wouldn't move there unless he did win. This is the state's newest congressional district. It's the most diverse district that covers Adams and Weld County. 40% of voters in this new district are Hispanic. And then for those of you wondering, Republican Representative Lauren Boebert took a big step toward her second term tonight. She easily beat her primary challenger, State Senator Don Coram, in Colorado's 3rd Congressional District. Our 9 News political experts are chomping at the bit to talk with us about what these results could mean for Colorado. We're going to check in with our Republican political expert, Kelly Maher, and Democratic expert James Mejia. That's coming up at 9:30. Just stay there for the next 25 minutes. We have a voter's guide on our website and an interactive tool where you can track the results yourself. Text the word election to 303-871-1491. We'll send you that link with everything you need to know tonight.